Hello, everybody. It's Kanoa here with Luis, and we're with RosaritoLiving.com. Hi, Luis.
Good morning, everybody.
And we are still social distancing. We are at home right now, and we want to bring you guys a border traffic update or a border crossing update because that's what most people are concerned about. They want to know what's going on with the border.
That's actually very interesting because we do see more activity, but one of the things I want to say is if you guys can see us from home, and we do have certain noises going around our houses, so please make sure don't pay attention to that. But let's go to the right information.
It's funny because I'm watching like news shows like, MSN or Fox or whatever, and they got dogs and kids and everything running around in the back. So I don't think dog barking is going to bother anybody in this new world.
Exactly. But you know what? It might be the new way where we get a little bit of distraction going on in the background.
Isn't this crazy times? Okay, let's tell everybody what's happening with the border.
Okay, let me start by sharing my screen. And the first thing I want to remind everybody is that you can always check our border traffic pages, both in Baja123.com and RosaritoLiving.com. If you go to RosaritoLiving.com, it's actually up in the menu, so you can find it easy. We're gonna go to the Baja 123 because I got it all zoomed in and ready for us to take a look at. So this is the, yeah, go ahead.
We were a little surprised this morning, huh? So we started looking at the border crossing, and I was surprised. I couldn't believe all the cars that are in the line.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm actually very surprised to see the amount of activity that's happening at the border right now. This is near real-time border crossing cameras that you're looking at on your screen, and I just can't believe, how much activity we have this morning.
And I saw that on actually Rosarito Living Facebook group. Somebody was saying this has been like this for the last couple of days. So
I started noticing since like Thursday or Friday last week when we did our last update. That the border was having a little more activity, and when we were taking a look at the actual stats and the wait times, we saw that both Otay and Tecate had a long waiting line.
So what it looks like to me is they still don't have that many lanes open, but there's a lot more people crossing.
Right. If you take a look at Otay Mesa's camera, you can see that the line is not as crazy as last time, but there are lanes open and there is a little bit of activity going on.
Okay, so let's look at the actual government website and see what the times are.
Okay, so I'm going to start with San Ysidro. The passenger vehicle standards, 3 lanes open. We have a 45-minute delay as of 9 o'clock this morning. Red lane, we have 9 lanes open with 35-minute delay, and that's the red lane at the San Ysidro border. And Sentry, we have 3 lanes open with obviously no delay. And the pedestrian, we have on the standard, 7 lanes open with 30-minute delay. And ready lane, 7 lanes open with 30-minute delay, which tells you there's a lot of people crossing or going across the border walking, which is kind of strange. We've seen no delay, in the past few days. And today, I don't know why, it's Monday, typical Monday maybe. People are either heading back to work or going back home. Maybe they came in and vacation over here. I don't know, what's happening, but
yeah, no, that's strange. I would think that people would be staying home and probably trying to avoid getting sick, but right now there's a lot of people crossing.
That's what it looks like. The CBX has only ready lanes open, 3 lanes with no delay. And San Ysidro Pad West is actually closed. I saw it in the news this weekend that they were going to close the Pad West. I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm sure it's also preventive measures. But there aren't any lanes open at the Pad West crossing.
All right, thank you.
Let's go to Otay. We have on the passenger vehicles, Otay Mesa, 1 lane open with 40-minute delay on the standard. And ready lane has 6 lanes open with 35-minute delay as of 9 o'clock this morning. Sentry, 1 lane open with no delay. And the pedestrian has under standard, 3 lanes open, no delay. And under ready lane, 3 lanes open with no delay. So if you're planning on going across the border walking, you might want to go to Otay. It's actually a better option. And Tecate, which we saw last week, Tecate had a lot of activity. This morning, as of 10 o'clock this morning, so about maybe 15 minutes ago, 15 minutes delayed under the standard with 1 lane open. There isn't a red lane or center lane. And through the pedestrian, 1 lane open under standard and has no delay.
I wonder if all that traffic, because last week these were more busy, so I wonder if everybody saw that San Ysidro was, you know, faster crossing, and they all switched to San Ysidro, and now these other border stations, the crossings aren't as much now.
Probably, you know, because we've had a lot of views in our videos, and we thank everybody that are watching these videos, because we know that we like to give you this information so you guys can make a better decision on what border crossing to use. And this occasion, I guess, is both Otay and Tecate poses a better option.
And right now, if you are crossing, and hopefully it is for essential travel only, we want you to be safe. And if you're out in public, I think there's a few things that people are agreeing on right now that, you know, we probably should be wearing a mask in public and not touching your face. So one of the things that I saw over the weekend, I heard a doctor from New York that was talking, that was really, really sharp. And he was saying, you know, if 80% of the people would be out in public wearing a mask, that we could really get our handle on this thing. And it wasn't for that the virus couldn't get through the mask. It was that people would stop touching their face, that people that are asymptomatic would stop spreading it to other people. So I think washing our hands and having masks on right now, if we're out in public, would probably be the #1 thing that we could do to help protect not only ourselves, but everybody else.
Yeah, and it sounds like people are saying, you know, they're not really paying attention to the mask, or they're saying, you know, the masks are not necessary unless you're sick, but that's not true, because the virus is airborne. And if somebody sneezed, it stays in the air within a few minutes. So if you're walking by and breathing that air, you might, you know, get a contagion, or you might get the contagion. So.
Well, you know, the other thing I heard one of the doctors saying too was that it's not, you don't need a surgical mask. You don't need an N95 mask. People can make their own masks at home. We're seeing a lot of people online. You can go online on YouTube, and people are sharing with how to make homemade masks. And once again, I think the key thing is not to touch your face. Keep your hands washed and not to touch your face, because the doctor, at least this doctor in New York, he said that 99% of the cases that they were seeing was from somebody touching somebody, shaking hands, or having some kind of physical contact and then touching their face.
Right.
So if we can all stop touching our faces and washing our hands, we're probably going to be a lot better off with this thing.
The other thing is also, if you're right-handed, use your left hand to open the doors and try to, you know, go around your life using your other hand as opposed to the strong hand. That way, when you're touching your face, you're not touching it with the bacteria or microbes or even viruses that are in things like metal, especially metal things like door handles and so forth. But you know what the key thing is to stay at home. And it's been said in the news by both the Mexican government, by the US government, the #1 thing that's going to stop the spread of the virus is by people staying home. And that's the one thing, it kind of makes me a little bit sad, because I don't see people really listening. I mean, there's obviously a lot of people that are listening, and there are a lot of people that are staying home, but we still see activity. You know, look at the border this morning. You know, there are people crossing, and these people are going to be, some people, like you said, they're asymptomatic. They don't know that they have contracted the virus, and they're going to go out and, you know, run their normal lives, and they're going to be passing that on to other people, and it's just not fair. So we want to remind everybody to stay home. You know, it's the best way to stop the spreading of this virus.
Yeah, because we want to get this thing over with. I mean, then the faster we can stop the spread of the virus, the faster we can all hopefully get back to some kind of normality in our lives.
Yeah.
We hope everybody stays safe and stay healthy out there. We'll try to get another border crossing video up sometime this week for you guys. And you can always check our website for any updates. If you like this video, please subscribe and follow, and like it, below. Thank you. And Louis, I appreciate you doing this with us this morning, and we'll talk to everybody later.
You're very welcome. See you, everybody.